The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everybody. This is Mark Sterneman. I am the Customer Service Vice President here at NetLaw. Welcome to our Wednesday webinar. We're going to get started in just a minute. There's still a lot of people that are rolling in, and I want to have them make sure that they're here for the webinar that Stan Craig is going to give today on kind of the 4 reasons of why NetLaw. So this is a really great webinar. This is going to answer the why question. Why do you need estate planning? Why do you need NetLaw? So I'm just going to give them a couple more seconds and then we'll get started. Thanks a lot. I don't see your name at all.
Well, now it says I'm unmuted, so I'm talking. Do you hear me? So, Mark, I don't know. I see the microphone responding when I speak. It says I'm watching your screen. I just used the link Corey sent me. It says I'm there. It says attendees 92 out of 1,001.
Okay, everybody, we got Stan Craig with us today. Did have a little technical difficulties getting him on, but we have got him on and ready to go. Just kind of wanted to go over a little bit for the new people. We do have a lot of new people on this webinar. I went down the list and didn't notice a lot of the names, so that is great. Welcome. We appreciate that you're here. And let me just start out by saying that everyone here at NetLaw wishes everyone a Happy New Year. I hope 2018 is very successful for everyone, and we look forward to being a part of your success. So really great to be here. For those that don't know a whole lot about NetLaw, NetLaw is an online estate planning tool that you can help your clients create their own estate plan. We were created out of a estate planning law office firm here in Louisville, Kentucky. The firm was it was called Hargrove Madden. It's now called Hargrove Trauber. And what they did is they dealt mainly with high volume, high wealth clients. And what they really wanted to do is focus on the everyday modern family, you know, just an average mom, dad, couple kids, maybe a dog, and reach out to the 60% of Americans who don't have a will. You know, and 90% of Americans don't have all the documents that we offer. So that is such a wide group of people that you, as financial agents, almost everyone that you know needs a NetLaw plan. So the the proverbial, shooting a fish out of a barrel. This is it. In 2012, we were actually giving the James I. Keene Award for Best Innovative Excellence in E-Lawyering. They said that for that year, we were the best innovative technology that came around. And that's really what kind of got us out there and into the financial world. Is you don't need an attorney to do all of this paperwork. You can just use the technology that we've given you, and you can help so many clients, and that saves on what? Time for the client, money, finding babysitters to go and sit at a law office for, 2 hours and having them charge the outrageous fees that they charge. You don't need to do that anymore. NetLaw has solved all of those problems. So what do you get in a NetLaw program? You get your will, you get your revocable probate avoidance living trust, and that does include a living trust for children and grandchildren. You get a financial and medical power of attorney. You get your living will, which in some states is called an advance directive. That's your end of life decisions. Who's going to take care of, your wishes? Do you want to be put on life support? Do you want to be put on, nutrition to keep you alive, or do you just want to pass naturally? These are your decisions, and this estate planning helps you tell everyone your wishes. You get your HIPAA authorization. What's great is the Life Vault, where you can store not just your estate planning documents, but all of your important documents in an online secure vault that you can access 24/7 anytime, as long as you have the internet. You get access to national network of attorneys. So what does that mean? If you have a question that, that you feel like needs to be asked to an attorney, we can line you up with one. If you need a document that we don't offer, maybe a irrevocable trust or a special needs trust, we can have you talking to an attorney very quickly to get the documents that you need. And as always, the spouses and documents are included for the same cost. So one plan covers both the husband and wife. As always, we have our 30-day, if you're new to NetLaw, the first 30 days after you register with NetLaw, you get a BOGO. Everybody heard about the BOGO promotion that we had going on last month. Such a huge success. So proud of everyone out there. The numbers were fantastic, and I hope that you were able to take advantage of it and, not just help your client, but someone that they know too by the free account that they were given. So just always love that and very happy about that. So, but remember, the first 30 days, so if you know anyone that's a new agent, let them know about this. It's a great way to get out there, start presenting NetLaw, start making money. It's just a wonderful tool that we offer to kind of kickstart their career. I'd like to go ahead and bring Stan on now, and he's going to talk about the why NetLaw is important. This is going to be, I believe, one of the best webinars we've ever had. Stan's going to take you through the steps of everything that you need to know on, why the decision to choose NetLaw. So very excited. I'm going to bring Stan on now. I'm going to go ahead and make you a presenter now, Stan. So give me just 1 second here.
So good morning, everyone. I'm really glad to have a chance to chat with you while Mark's bringing my screen up. I just want to tell you what a privilege it is to have a chance to talk with you again as we start this new year together. What an exciting time to be a financial advisor. Thank goodness the market's been favorable. People are feeling good about the economy and good about themselves, and more wealth has been created this year in the markets and everything else. So I think that's really important for everyone, and it makes our business easier. So Mark, are everyone looking at my screen right now?
Yeah, I see your screen.
Great. Today we're going to talk about the difference that makes a difference, because so many times we'll say, well, boy, we really make a difference. But the truth is, there's very few things out there that really make a difference. Have you ever heard someone say, and this is going to change your life, and they're talking about a diet, or they're talking about a new internet connection, or a new game that you can play, or a new visit to an amusement park. The truth is, there are very few things that really do change our lives. Physically, health-wise, there are a number of things, but personally, what's going to change things personally? And frankly, NetLaw and the opportunity to do advanced planning changes things. So I want to show you the real difference NetLaw makes and why NetLaw is different. It's not the same old estate planning. It's not the same old advanced care planning everyone knows about. It's totally different. So what I want to do is help you with your clients. When a client says, why do I need advanced planning? And really advanced planning is what we're talking about, because we're talking about not only thinking about your healthcare documents, your estate planning documents, but your legacy giving as well. All of those things are included in what NetLaw brings to the table. And then clients want to know, why do I need that? And then if I do need it, why NetLaw? I mean, aren't there other ways to do this? Rocket Lawyer, my attorney down the street, my friend in the same neighborhood or at the club. There are a lot of other alternatives. And if NetLaw, what makes it so distinctive? What makes NetLaw stand out? Well, those are the kind of questions that you have to answer. And today, that's what we're going to deal with. And by the way, on January the 17th, I hope you'll have all of your colleagues join us. We're going to have an objection clinic. An objection clinic means we're going to deal with what you hear from your clients when they say, I don't think so because, I don't like that because, no, I already have this. Whenever you get those responses, we're going to give you a clinic on what to say when that happens. And you know, many clients are going to say no anyway, period. That's what they do. So you just accept that and then deal with the objection. So that's what we're going to do on January the 17th at this webinar. And I'll be joined by Jamie Hargrove, the guy who created NetLaw. So we're going to help you with legal questions, personal questions, sales questions, and I hope you'll join us then. So what is the NetLaw advantage? Well, the clients really want to know, not what should I do, but why should I do it? Everybody's telling us what to do. The real question is the why question. And if you can answer the why question, everything else is easy. I have a friend, Nito Cobain, who's a member of the National Speakers Association. And Nito says, if you can answer the why question, all other questions are easy. What are we going to do? Why explains it. Who's going to do it? Why explains it. The why question is the most important one of all, and that's the one every client has in the back of their mind. But most salespeople ignore the why, and we just default to what should you do. We do that because we're product focused, we're sales focused, and so we want to explain the what before the why. And the truth is, you know this as well as I do, if you don't take care of the why, the what doesn't matter. You remember, we've all heard the story when a dad says, I want you to do this, and the answer when the kids say why is because I said so. Well, generally that doesn't work very well. I was a part of a sales team when they were introducing a new product, and when we asked the why question, why is this good for the client? Why is this good for us? The answer was, because we're telling you to do it. That's very inadequate. The why question is really more important than the what question. So let's deal with that. Why NetLaw? That's the real question. Why should I do this? NetLaw, it is the difference that makes the difference. What do I mean by that? Well, the facts make it really clear. The good thing about this product, the good thing about the offer, the good thing about what we're talking about today is there's not a family that you know or your own family you're part of, that doesn't need an advanced care plan. Not one. Why? Because one day, every one of us is going to have to be admitted to the hospital, sometimes for a test, sometimes for treatment, or sometimes because of illness. Everyone's life is going to come to an end. We're going to need the hospitalization, and we're going to be prepared for when the end comes. You know, some people have said, in fact, Aldous Huxley said, most Americans think death is an unfounded rumor. Most Americans think death is an unfounded rumor. In fact, no one wants to think about it, but the truth is, it is a reality. We're not going to be reminding people of an unpleasant rumor. We're going to be reminding people of how to take the stress and the difficulty. There are any exceptions. Everyone's going to have to deal with it, but now we can make a difference. The second fact is, you've got to be protected. The whole reason that the hospital asks you for a living will a durable power of attorney for healthcare, and HIPAA authorities is to protect you from what? I'm in the hospital. From unneeded, unwanted, unnecessary treatments and expensive tests. I've said to you before in these seminars that up to 40%, according to the Dartmouth Health Study, up to 40% of what happens to us in the hospital is not only unnecessary, but may be harmful to us. And we're going to look at a quote from the Harvard Medical School about that in just a bit. The hospital for most of us is a stressful place, isn't it? I mean, if you're just walking in the door, there's stress that comes along. For treatment and tests, gosh, they can be anxiety filled. What's the result going to be? So the secret of removing that and protecting yourself is plan before you need to for when you may not be able to plan. It's what we said about life insurance. Life insurance is the product you have to buy before you need it, because when you need it, you can't buy it. Isn't that true? Life insurance is a product you must buy before you need it, because when you need it, you can't buy it. So we've got to help people look into the future and anticipate and plan for what they know is going to be coming. That's why NetLaw is so important. We help protect people from the problems that can occur. And the third fact, every client is reminded of the need for the NetLaw product every time they walk into a doctor's office. The doctor says, do you have the documents? Every time you go to the hospital, do you have the documents? They're always going to ask for them. The New York Times told us that 65% of Americans have no idea of why we are asked that question. Here's the quote that I think is so important from Dr. Angela Davis at the Harvard Medical School. Angela says, if you have not translated your wishes, your values, the core of who you are into some sort of medical plan, what I will do oftentimes is provide marginal benefit, cause great suffering to you and your family, and provide little benefit, and frankly, only postpone your death. Remember when we did the seminar on healthcare, I said the question I wish I'd asked the doctor when my brother was admitted to the hospital, and this is something you need to write down because you need to use this every time a member of your family, your mom, your dad, your uncle, your grandparent is in the hospital. You need to raise this question. Is this treatment or procedure going to provide healing? Is it a bridge to healing? It may not be the healing, but is it a bridge to healing, or is it only going to postpone my death? That's the words, basically, they're coming from this doctor. Is this treatment going to be a bridge to healing, or is it only going to postpone my death, or the death of my grandmother, or the death of my brother? I wish I'd asked that question, as I told you before, because it would have changed everything for my younger brother when he was in the hospital and passed away in 41 days. Here's the fourth fact. When it comes to estate planning, you already have one. You have a estate plan. Maybe not an estate plan, but every one of you, from California to Florida, from Maine to Texas, you have a state plan, because your state says this is what's going to happen to you if you die intestate. That means without a will. So who do you want to decide the future of your children, of your heirs, of your spouse? Who do you want to do that? You or the state? My guess is everyone's going to answer the exact same answer. I don't want the state to do it. Why do we want to get involved in planning? Because planning is protecting the most important things in your life, including your life. Remember, a NetLaw plan is not just to set aside an estate plan as opposed to a state plan. NetLaw is to also decide how you want to be treated when you're under medical treatment, and who you want to speak for you when you cannot speak, and what you want them to know about the care that you expect. It's so important. Planning is protecting the most important things in your life, including your life. That's why this is so important to everyone. Well, we've looked at 3 facts, but why NetLaw? Let's say, I understand it. I need the health care. I understand it. I need an estate plan. I understand it. I want to leave a legacy. But why NetLaw? Here are the 4 things that's so key. NetLaw is personal. It's not personal if you're filling out a document online without any help or anybody to care. NetLaw, Rocket Lawyer, there's a big difference between the two. We're going to talk about that. It's conversational. Conversational is what everyone wants, right? When you're talking about anything with your clients or your prospects, it needs to be done conversationally, not in a sales presentation, but within the context of a conversation. And that's why NetLaw works. And it's got to be digital. We live in a world where paper is slowly dying, and yet in everywhere except when it comes to the hospital and with estate plans, everybody still has paper. Paper has some serious faults, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And here's the last thing you want to use NetLaw, because you get it done. Personal, conversational, digital, done. Let me just tell you, most of your prospects are thinking, you know, I need to get around to that. I need to think about that. I need to take some action on that. I've heard about that before. Everyone already has implanted in their mind, because of something that occurred in their own family, that they need to do this. The question is, how do you get it done? NetLaw allows you to get it done. Where? In your house, in your home, talking with your family, with your spouse about what you want done, not with an attorney sitting there listening who's guiding you through forms. Let me just tell you, attorneys use pre-printed forms. Do you think they type up everything? Let me just tell you, we've sat with 5 estate planning attorneys as my wife and I have moved from state to state, and it's all a fill in the blanks. If you compare the Pennsylvania one to the Kentucky one to the North Carolina one to the New York one, you'll be amazed, because basically it's the same document, and you have to write it in paper, get it printed out, and keep it. Personal, conversational, digital, done. What do we mean by that? Well, personal means helpful guidance that fits your needs, not fitting your needs into a one-size-fits-all document. That's important. What everyone wants today, in a digital world, in a world where we're all connected by more electronics than we are with our relationships, personal conversational relationships, being personal is important. Fitting my needs. This is what I want. I'm a single. I'm a married couple with a special needs child. We're a married couple with adopted children. We're a married couple with no children. These online documents are not that helpful when it comes to being personal. Personal means you're in control. Who do you want to be in control of your health care? Who do you want to be in control of your estate? What executor do you want? Who do you want to be able to write checks for you? My goodness, you want to be in control of all of those. And personal means you are in control and you make decisions to protect your family. Personal, well, that means it's like you and like me. We're going through changes every day in our lives. My wife and I have just relocated. We've just moved to a new state. Now, with our NetLaw documents, the ones we completed in Kentucky are valid in Florida with a touch of a button. Change comes with NetLaw, and that's great, because every other time we moved, we had to do it all over again. We have 5 estate plans. 4 of them are useless, and now the 5th one is, because we no longer reside in Kentucky. Doesn't matter. I don't have to see an attorney in Florida, because our documents will be loaded into the Florida system and be prepared there. That's the best thing about NetLaw. It goes with us all through life. If there's a change in marriage status, if there's a change in relationships, you can update it whenever you like. That's personal, and it's conversational. I said that earlier. What does that mean? It means it's not legalese. Don't you hate it when people's using their own vocabulary? You know, Jamie Hargrove is one of my dear friends, and when he talks about avoiding probate, I want to say, hey, stop that, you know, just not talk about it. But why do you want to talk about avoiding probate? You can't sell a negative in the first place, and most people don't know what it is. So not only is it a negative, you have to explain it. What a problem. Conversational means there's 3 conversations. It's really important. The first one is, who do you want to speak for you when you can't speak for yourself? The second is, what do you want them to say? And the third question is, what kind of legacy do you want to leave for your family that represents who you are? The first 2 cover your health care. The second one covers your estate plan. It's not legalese. There's 3 simple, short questions. Conversational means smart guides, because when you're working on a NetLaw platform, you know there's smart guides right there on the tab to guide you through it in a conversational way. In conversational, that means other people can know everything you want them to know. You can share any part of this document with anyone. And who should know what you're writing? Certainly your healthcare advocate. If you have a healthcare advocate and they don't know what it is you want them to do, you just made a big mistake. It's important that when you have a living will, your healthcare advocate, your durable power of attorney for healthcare, knows what they are to say. Conversational means that when you plan your estate, that your executor knows what you want, and they may know difficulties in getting it done. Conversational means easily understood. Have you ever tried to explain things that people don't understand, and you go back and say, let me say that again. Let me say that another way. NetLaw solves that. It's personal, it's conversational, and it's digital. Digital. You know how important that is, because wherever you are across the country, in cold Atlanta or in freezing the Northeast, my daughter's in Connecticut, freezing Northeast, or you're in Minneapolis where it's below zero, or you're in San Diego where it's always sunny in San Diego, you are on this platform. Digital means accessible, 24/7, 365 days a year, forever. I like print. Well, print it out. You have a computer there, you have a printer, print out what you like. Digital also means that you can get this presentation anytime you want. You can listen to it again, you can watch it again, you can share it with others on your team. Digital means accessible, but it also means portable. I just mentioned to you that my wife and I have moved from Kentucky to Florida. That was a wise move, especially the way the weather has been, even though for Floridians, this is cold. In Kentucky, this is almost balmy in the winter. Digital means portable. So every time you relocate, every time you move, every time there's a change, anytime your executor moves, or your children who may be acting as your healthcare advocates or your durable power of attorney for finance, you can follow along because the documents move along. Digital means adaptable. I just said Kentucky, now adapted to Florida. Adaptable means when your children become 18 and are now adults, then they're going to need their own durable power of attorney for healthcare. Someone needs to be able to speak for children. In fact, your clients may not know this, and you may not either, but once your children are 18, in most states, they become legally adults. No one can speak for them when they can't speak for themselves without a durable power of attorney for healthcare. That solves all the problems. And that's why that document was created in the first place. It's portable, goes where you want to. It's adaptable. It finishes off in whatever situation you may happen to be in, so you can look back and say, done, done. And digital means shareable. How great to be able to share these documents. Most people who have this done, who've done estate planning, done the healthcare documentation, have it written down somewhere, stored someplace. Remember, my definition of a filing cabinet is where you lose things alphabetically. Isn't that correct? It's where you lose things alphabetically. And if you were to ask your client, says, oh, I've already done that, you could say, and do you know where they are? Have you shared them with the people that's important? And the answer is probably no, because with paper, it's not shareable. Personal, conversational, digital, done. What does done mean? Gosh, you don't have to keep putting it off until you can get in the point with the attorney, till you have your family gathering in your conversation. Done means you can do it now. You don't have to keep putting it off. Done means finished, but not final. My plan in the state of Kentucky was finished, but it's not final because now I'm in Florida. Most of us are going through changes in our lives. And it may be relocating from a house to a facility. For our older clients, it may be relocating to a job or having a second home. By the way, if your client has a second home in another state, they need documentation done for that state. If they own property in another state, then you have to be sure that you have that taken care of with your will and estate. Things can get so complicated unless it is easy to move, unless it's portable, finished, but not final. And with NetLaw, you can redo your beneficiaries, redo your trust with ease and without added expense. Done means simple. Gosh, don't we like things that's simple and easy to do? And most of the things that we want to get done and get done are things we can do simply and easily. Done means timely. How much time does it take to get in the car, to go see the attorney, to get an appointment, to go through it, to go back again to see the documents, to go back one more time for the presentation, and then to write a check for all that? Timely means it's available on your time schedule, Mr. Client. It's on your time schedule, Mr. Advisor, and it's available all the time. And done emotionally, it means exchanging fear and doubt for confidence and security. Listen, the reason people worry about the hospital is because no one wants to go there. Everyone thinks you go to the hospital to die, and nobody wants to do that. Groucho Marx said, a comedian that most of you are not familiar with, but Groucho Marx, he of the cigar smoke, the glasses, and the mustache, said, going to the hospital is like sitting in a taxi going nowhere with the meter running. Going to hospitals like sitting in a taxi going nowhere with the meter running. Because when you're sitting in the hospital, you are running up the bills and running up, and your fear gets greater and greater. Your insecurity grows. Having the documents done means I am in charge. That's why done's so important. That's why NetLaw is personal, conversational, digital, done. And why does it really make a difference? Here it is, folks. You are what makes the difference. You are what makes the difference. The reason your client is purchasing this, the reason your prospects are talking about this is because of you. You have the personal relationships, and building the relationship is the most important thing you have with your client. That's why you want to tell the story. And remember, very few have heard the story. They've heard about the need, but they haven't heard an answer to that need because no one's told the story. And telling the story means not saying you need an estate plan. Telling the story means the simple question, what do you want to leave as a legacy to your family, to people that you love, to institutions, to churches, to organizations that you care about? What do you want to leave as a legacy? Don't you want to write that down? That's what an estate plan is all about. What do you want the hospital to know when you go about what kind of tests or procedures that are okay with you? Don't you think you should write that down? You tell the story, you provide help and guidance. And when you do it, when it's needed, and when's it needed? Let me just tell you, everybody right now is thinking about the new year. Your client's making resolutions about the new year. Everybody is planning to make this year better than the last. And what would make it better than putting in the past all of this planning that needs to be done? Because when you need it to be done, you can't do it. It's too late to write an estate plan after your death, correct? It's too late to say, here's my living will, this is what I want done, when you're already in the hospital and perhaps procedures have already been performed. You've got to tell the story, and it's needed now. The other thing is to follow through. I want to encourage you to keep following through. The part of the problem with a sales organization, everyone that I've been a part of, is that butterflies are in our stomach when we're making the presentation, right? We're nervous about this. How's this presentation going to go? And as the butterflies get bigger for us, we get more and more concerned. And then the wonderful thing happens. The client says, yes, I'll do that. Sure. How do I sign up? What do I do next? Then we're rejoicing. Well, what happens to the butterflies? Let me just tell you, they leave your stomach and they fly in the client's stomach. And the client says, what have I done? Oh my gosh, what have I done? And then their new worry cycle comes. That doesn't help with you. That never occurs with you. You won't see that happen because you are there. Why? To help follow through, to walk them through it. Let's start with the healthcare documents and get those done, because the odds are you may have to go to the hospital tomorrow. This is flu season. It's sweeping all across America. We need to get this stuff done, right? The healthcare part. If the client says, well, the estate planning stuff is complicated, let's start with the healthcare. That's not that complicated. Let's get that done. Flu season, you know what that means for us? Man, that is prospecting and selling season, because people know they need the healthcare documents. And not only do we want to follow through, but be sure that we ask that last question. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind for your family, for the people that you love, for institutions that you believe in? That's why the estate plan is so important. That's what it does. It protects you too. You want to keep thieves and robbers out of your estate. And I tell you, they will show up in a New York minute when you don't have a will. And some people can rob you of everything. How do you do this? Well, you get it done because you are there to walk them through it. And then you know what you want to do, celebrate. Sometimes in sales, we forget the celebration. We celebrate. I mean, we do the little dance because, hey, all right, we did it. We got it. We sold the sale. That was great. And that's wonderful. But we want to help the client celebrate. The celebration is not important unless it happens in the client's house, right? That's where you want the celebration done. Call them up and say, see, you got that done. Terrific. Congratulations. That ought to relieve a lot of burden. Don't forget to celebrate with your clients. If you sold them a life insurance product, if you sold them an annuity, whatever it is you've done, call back to celebrate. John, thank you so much for getting that done. Let me just tell you, too many salesmen are afraid to talk to clients. They're afraid the client's going to find something didn't work out, or they didn't like it, or they're going to rescind the order, and they never follow through. Listen, that is stupid. That is so bad. One of the top automobile salesmen in the country wrote a book, and he said, every single sale represents 25 other sales to me. So if I treat this one sale really special, I'll get 25 more from the spouse, from the children, from the people that they know, because they'll say, you won't believe what happened to me when I bought my car from Joe Girardi. You won't believe what Joe did, because he took the time to celebrate. When they bought the car, he took them over to service. He introduced them to the service manager. He did all the things that we ought to be able to do too. Celebrate with the client when the family's protected. It becomes really important. What's the real difference in NetLaw? Well, it's personal, it's conversational, it's digital. You get it done, but the real difference, that's you. That's why I'm excited to chat about you every day. NetLaw. Remember, it's complete legal documentation for both spouses. It's complete. It's advanced care planning, including a living will, a durable power of attorney for health care, a HIPAA authority. It's complete, state-specific, last will and testament, revocable living trust, the beneficiary designation. We're going to talk about that in another seminar about how important that is, legacy gifts, and even a pet trust. I'll share another personal story. Gloria and I have a little doggie who's laying right here beside me right now. His name is Daly, and we have a pet trust for Daly. If Gloria and I were to be injured together at the same time, one of our concerns is who's going to take care of our little buddy, Daly. Well, we have a pet trust with $5,000 from our state going to cover Daly's cost and his upkeep. I think there'll be probably lots of people who'd like to care for Daly for $5,000. He can't eat that much dog food in the remainder of his life. A pet trust, that's included in NetLaw. You know, NetLaw is complete. We think of everything, trying our best to be sure we take care of the client. And that's what you want to do, isn't it? But it doesn't mean anything, right? Unless enacting the plan replaces excuses. There are 100,000 excuses of why this shouldn't be done, and you've probably already thought of 10 of them, and so have your clients. But if you want to make a difference, start enacting the plan and see what happens. You're going to find clients will be more appreciative, more grateful, give you more referrals when they see what a great opportunity you've given them at a cheaper cost than they can get it anywhere else with personal attention. And what's the one thing they get buying it from you that they don't get anywhere else? You. I used to tell my clients, when you open an account with me, you get one thing nobody else does, and that means you get me, and I'm available to talk to you, to help you, your family, anytime you choose. In fact, here's my cell phone number. Call me if you have a problem. Let me just tell you how much that impressed my clients. And let me tell you how many calls I got, personal calls, not more than 2 or 3 in a long career. You make the difference. If you make this a part of what you want to do in the new year, I guarantee you, you're going to get more referrals, more clients, reaching the kind of people you want to reach, and you will prosper. But your clients and prospects are going to benefit even more. You will get paid a commission, but they're going to save hundreds of thousands of dollars in expenses. My brother lost $175,000 in legal expenses because his will was contested, and it was a bad will written by an attorney whose prime business was getting people out of traffic tickets. That's not what you get with NetLaw. You're going to avoid taxes if you be sure to remove that burden that comes from probate. You're going to have costly litigation go out the door. You're not going to need that. And then you're going to add peace of mind to an anxiety-filled experience as illness and life-threatening events come, and you know they're going to come. We're here to help. I think you heard Mark talk about that. You've already spoken to Mary and Vanessa. I mean, we have a team sitting there in Louisville by the phones ready to help you, to assist your clients. So you really have a happy new year. We're going to take some questions. I hope as I've been talking, you've been sending some along to Mark. We'd be happy to deal with anything you want. My name is Stan Craig. I'm a part of the NetLaw team and happy to be working with you. There's nothing more enjoyable than financial services. All of my 28 years in that were joyous because of the ability to help people solve financial and personal problems. That's the kind of problems that everyone needs some help with, and you are equipped to do just that. And I'm grateful that we had this chance to chat. Now remember, on January the 17th is our objection clinic. If you heard my presentation, you say, well, yeah, but what about? Yeah, but what about this? We're going to deal with two kinds of objections. One, objections that you may have, your concerns about working with NetLaw. And second, for what you've heard from clients when they've said, I don't think so. We're going to tell you how to deal with both of those. Jamie Hargrove, the founder of NetLaw, and I will be looking forward to having your questions and helping you with our objection clinic on January 17th. All right, Mark, thank you so much. Thank you all for being a part of the broadcast. I hope you found it helpful today. These slides are available to you at your discretion. Mark, thank you, my friend.
That was wonderful. I was just reading all the comments here about how much everyone enjoyed this. I mean, there's, I would say 15 to 20 comments on what a great job you did, and just wonderful. Every webinar you do with us is wonderful. Always warm and positive feedback. So just glad that you're on the NetLaw team. You bring so much information and experience that it's to our benefit and to everyone else's out there to have you on board with us. So we really do appreciate it. Okay, so let's go back. I wanted to answer a few questions that came in. There's a couple that I kind of wanted to dive in more online. One was from Rebecca Villafana. And hi, Rebecca. She was asking about if a client has a property in California and another one in Oregon, can she put both properties into the trust? And the answer is absolutely. The only thing is, for the property in California, she'll have to do it in California. For the property in Oregon, you have to go to Oregon and do the deed transfer there. So kind of wanted to make that a little bit more clear for people. Yes, you can put as many houses into the trust from any state or country. If you had a property, say in Mexico, you'd have to fly over to Mexico, change the deed over there, but absolutely you could put it into the trust. So great question there. And I saw one from, Andy Dye. Thanks for your question, Andy. He asked if a client wanted to make any changes to the living will or really any document, is it free, and what does the $8 a month cover? Great question. We get it all the time in customer service. So, within the first year, all changes are free with the payment. And that also includes, for the first year, you can store anything into your vault for free as well. Starting in the second year, that's when the $8 a month comes up. And that is an optional fee. The clients can choose to pay the $8 a month, and that gives them the same advantages as within the first year. They get unlimited changes. They can store anything into their online vault. If they do choose to not do the $8 a month, all of their documents that they've created are there. They can go, they can print them out. The only thing they can't do is make changes. They couldn't store anything into their vault. So if there's a change that comes about, say 3 or 4 years down the road, they'll have to pay the reinstatement fee, which would be $250, and then start paying the $8 a month. But the way that I talk to the clients that come in here and they talk about the $8 a month and they have objections about it, and this will probably be covered in the January 17th objections webinar, but it's, for $8 a month, that's almost what my Starbucks coffee cost this morning. And for that cost, you're able to go in case something tragic happens, or a birth of a baby, or you get divorced, or you get married. It's so easy just to pay that $8 a month, and you have full access to your account. So just kind of wanted to really go on to that and talk about that in depth a little bit more, just to make sure that everybody understands. Let's see. Janet Cormier has a question. Can I fund the trust myself, or will I need an attorney? No, absolutely. You can do it yourself. If you're putting property into the trust, you can just go down to the county clerk's office, do the deed transfer. If you aren't comfortable with that or don't have the time to do it, we do have some companies on our website, and we'll get you a list of those. And I'll send it out to everybody on this list that can come in and do the deed transfers for you. There is an extra cost to that, but if you don't want the time that will be involved in doing that, absolutely, you can have one of our attorneys do it, and they'll be more than glad to help you out with that. Let's see. Ed Nichols has a question. Are past webinars available for viewing? Absolutely, Ed. You can find those at step6.netlawinc.com. I know Vanessa's on here, so she'll be putting that out here for everyone's viewing. But step6.netlawinc.com, just hover over the webinars tab. You'll see webinars archive, and that's where you'll find them. Mark Hunter has a question. Hey, Mark. Who do we email to get a copy of the slides? These will actually be sent out to you. They will be copied on the webinar. So the slides will be involved in there, and you can just go to the archives and watch the video again. But they do get emailed out to you. Evelyn White, just want to say that you are an excellent training. Love you. Thanks. We love you too, Evelyn. Keep up the great work. Let's see, next question. Okay, Andy, another question by Andy. Does the client need to start the paperwork in a certain time frame? Say a client has purchased the package but starts the living trust 2 years later. Is that okay? Sure, as long as they're paying the $8 monthly fee that starts in the second year, they'll have full access to their account, and they can create any documents then. So absolutely. But of course, we always recommend that, as soon as you get the program, you go ahead and complete it. You never know what's right around the corner. So you want to make sure that everyone is taken care of. Good question. Let's see. Stephen Liu has a question. Regarding a trustee, if we pick a professional like financial firm, do we start paying fees immediately, or do we only start paying fees to trustees after we die? Yeah, that's a good question. Remember, if you choose to pick a financial firm to be your trustee, I'm sure that they will start charging. So that's something that you're going to want to discuss with them. Each company is different. Some may hold off until the passing and then charge the fee then. So that's definitely something that you're going to want to talk to them about. Like I said, each firm is totally different. Jocelyn Smiley, will someone assist you to create the will or revocable trust, or the client has to do it themselves? Well, it's an online process, Jocelyn. It's very easy to complete, but if they do have any questions or get stuck, they can always call us. Our customer service number, I'll write this down for everybody, is 888-604-4789. And you can use that number. I just put that up on the screen. So that's our support email address and phone number. And let me go ahead and put it in here. And yeah, definitely with any questions or if you get stuck, and that goes for anybody, just not filling out paperwork for clients or for agents who've bought their own plan, but agents who are out in the field and they have a question and they get stuck. Call us. That's what we're here for. So we are always ready to help. Okay, Ed Nichols has a question. How does the online vault get access if the client becomes deceased? Good question. What we suggest is that your executor or your trustees have your username and password to your account. So if anything happens to you, they are able to get into your vault, print out your documents, and have all of your instructions ready to go. That's the easiest way. Family members would probably need to know that as well. So make sure husband and wife, make sure both of you know, kids, brothers and sisters, anyone who's close to you that may need these documents, just make sure that they have your username and password. Prashant, I am planning to conduct a NetLaw workshop, expecting about 40 people. Will someone from NetLaw help me conduct it? How do you go about that? Tell you what, Prashant, let me email you after the webinar here. We'll get together and go through that, and we'll make sure that you get the proper assistance. Evelyn White, do you print the living will for the hospital or doctor's offices? Yes. Once you get done with your documents, you can print them out and make sure that they have a copy of that in your file. Absolutely. Will the January 17th webinar be at 12 p.m.? This is from Sai. Hey, Sai. Yes, every webinar, every Wednesday webinar will be at noon Eastern Standard Time. Stacy Robbins, are you going to schedule any client workshops in the near future? We are. That's one of our main initiatives for 2018 is to improve and get more client workshops out there and make sure that your clients know how to fill out the paperwork. We do have a client workshop that is in the webinar archives and actually on step6.netlawinc.com as well, where I think it's like an hour video that goes over and shows you exactly how to fill out all of your documents. It's a really wonderful tool and very worth going through and just reviewing it. But definitely we will be scheduling some probably in the middle and end of January, Stacy. So thanks for your question. Okay, Angela McLeod, if you purchase a BOGO, how does the other party you give it to access it? Well, once you purchase the plan, you can email us at support@netlawinc.com. That's up on my page right here. And you can just tell us who purchased the plan. And as far as the free person, we just need to know who, or the person's name, their email address, and their phone number. And we will build the plan here and email it to the person who gets the free account. Thanks for your question. Yeah, Edna, great comment. She's talking about using customer service, calling in, but she goes, there's also a live chat. Absolutely, you can chat with us anytime. We are open from 8:30 to 8:30 Monday through Friday Eastern Standard Time. So if you can't get through on the phone, absolutely use the chat function. It's probably even quicker because it's people who some people who maybe not answer the phone can get on the chats and help us out. So excellent, and thank you for that. Ken Pemberton is asking how many people can have access to your vault. It's your account, Ken. You can give that to as many people as you want, or no one. But definitely, I would recommend that close family members and your executor definitely have access to it. Okay, Elizabeth Want has a question. I have an existing living trust that I have had for 15 years. The attorney wants to charge for changes that cost more than buying a NetLaw service. Could I incorporate my existing living trust into a NetLaw system? I also need a living trust for another state. Okay, so yeah, absolutely. You would just purchase the NetLaw program. You would have to start over because this is a new document. So things that you had in the old trust, you would have to put back into the new trust. But everything that's in there, you could just add right over. I also need a living trust for another state. Yeah, and I'm not understanding that because you can take items from that other state and put it into your NetLaw trust. Tell you what, give me a call. Well, I'll give you a call, and let's dive into this a little more. I want to see why you think that you need two trusts. So I'll give you a call, Elizabeth. Andy has another question. Does all files need notarization? I vaguely remember only living trust and pet trust do not need notarization, but others do. Yeah, Andy, we suggest that all paperwork gets notarized, but for some states, like I believe in California, the will doesn't need to be notarized. It does need to be witnessed, but it doesn't need to be notarized. So you just have to look, and if there's a spot for a notary to stamp and some witnesses to sign their name and initial, absolutely, you would need to do that. So depending on what state you're in, every state is different. So, some documents may need it, some may not. So definitely just take it, but it can't hurt to get them all notarized. That's for sure. Yeah, and Jocelyn kind of piggybacking on Andy's question, when printing the documents, will the client need the notary to notarize it before putting it in the safe? Yeah, absolutely. If when you print out your documents, you need to take them and get them witnessed and notarized, and then you'll sign them, and that way you can put them back into your safe or into your vault. Good question. Okay, Vicki Shepp, does the 30 days for BOGO start after sign up as an agent for NetLaw? Yes. Once you sign up with NetLaw, that's when your 30 days starts. It's not when you sign up with your financial institution. It's 30 days from the day that you start with NetLaw. So once you register yourself, that's day one. And remember, it's unlimited, buy one, get one free for 30 days. So if you have 2 or 3, that's great. That's exactly what we want to see. Edna, I love NetLaw. Thank you. Great door opener and helping clients walk them through and building relationships and lead generation. Yeah, thank you. And that's, one thing that probably didn't come up today is lead generation. For every person that you're selling this to, how many people do they know that need NetLaw as well? And inside the NetLaw, they can refer a friend. And if that friend or family member signs up, then you as the agent get, the credit for it. So lead generation is absolutely a great tool for this. Don't forget that we also have marketing questions when they're going through their plan for the first time. It asks them about, do they need, maybe some life insurance, IRAs, planning for college for their children, retirement. It asks those questions, and if there's that they mark, yes, I want more information to, it goes right back to the agent, and the agent can help them out on getting whatever they need. So great question, and thanks, Edna. Okay, that looks like, unless I've skipped some, I do not see any more questions. I know Vanessa is working hard to answer the questions that I didn't cover, so she is doing a great job keeping up. So I think we're good, and it's 1:02. I don't want to keep you all any more than after the 1 o'clock hour, so I'll go ahead and sign off now and say thank you, and I look forward to seeing each of you back here next week. I really appreciate your attendance, and just let us know how we can support you. We're always taking requests for future webinars. What do you want to hear? What do you want us to talk about? Tell us, and that would be great. We're here for you. So thank you and have a great day.